In this video, we are going to talk about what does a UX designer actually do, what are its job responsibilities. So user experience design is often used interchangeably with terms such as user interface design or usability. However, while usability and user interface design are important aspects of UX design, they are subsets of it. So UX design is sort of a generalist profession with which has got all of these different role responsibilities inside it, so such as interaction design, content strategy, user research, visual design, information architecture, user usability, to name a few of them. And UX itself is a subset of an even bigger term or profession, which is customer experience, and their UX is just one aspect of it. It's got product delivery, advertising, sales processes, store outlet, and customer service. So UX is a subset of CX, and all of these things like usability and user and visual design, research, and interaction design, they are subsets of UX. So have that perspective and talking about all of these different roles. So a UX designer is concerned with the entire process of acquiring and integrating a product, including aspects of branding, design, usability functions. So all of these are subsets of UX. It's a story that begins before the device is even in the user's hand. So visual design and usability, these roles, they sort of start when the product is so it's actually turning something intangible into tangible, something we can see, we can use, we can interact with. But UX starts way before that. It's actually the process which leads to building something tangible. So no product is an island. A product is more than the product. It is a cohesive integrated set of experiences. Think through all of the stages of a product or service, from initial intentions through final reflections, from the first stage, from the first users to help, service, and maintenance. Make them all work together seamlessly. This is what user experience actually is, and this is a quote from Don Norman. He is actually the inventor of the term user experience, not the entire profession, but the term user experience. So products that provide a great user experience, for example the iPhone, are thus designed with the product's consumption or use in mind, and the entire process of acquiring, owning, and even troubleshooting it. So it's not just limited to something to it's not some limited to a to an app, to a service, to a product, but it's the entire process of actually how the person will acquire this product or service. How will they own it? What will be their experience while owning it and interacting with using it? And then if an error occurs, how they will troubleshoot it. Are there protocols in place? All of these things, they fall under user experience. So similarly, UX designers don't just focus on creating usable products, they concentrate on other aspects of the user experience, such as pleasure, efficiency, and fun. Now these are totally dependent on and subjective on the product which you are product or service you're working on. So consequently, there is no single definition of good user experience. It's all subjective. Instead, a good user experience meets a particular user's needs in the specific context where they use the product. So again, the subjectivity. The International Organization for Standardization, ISO, defines user experience as a person's perceptions and responses that result from the use or anticipated use of a product, system, or service. So we can break this definition into two parts: a person's perceptions and responses, and the use of a product, system, or service. So in user experience, designers do not have much control over the person's perceptions and responses, right? So that's the first part of the definition. For example, they cannot control how someone feels, moves their fingers, or controls their eyes as they use the product. That's something they are hard coded in. They have their own preferences, so it's very difficult to influence those. But however, designers can control how the product, system, or service behaves and looks. So that's the second part of the definition. So this is just like a diagram which can actually show you the different layers of UX. So there's surface, which is visual design, then there's skeleton, which is interface design, navigation design, information architecture. In structure, we have the architecture, we have the interaction design. In scope, we have functional specs, contents and requirements, and then in strategy, we have user needs and sites. So all of these things need to be first figured out before we can actually build a very usable and relevant visual design for our service or product. So as a UX designer, you should consider the why, what, and how of product use. It's not just the what. So the why involves the user's motivation for adopting a product, whether they relate to a task they wish to perform with it, or to values and views that our users associate with the ownership and the use of the product. So you have to deal with a lot of intangibles here. The what addresses the things people can do with the product, so it's the functionality, and then the how relates to the design of functionality in an accessible and aesthetically pleasant way. So the how is essentially where you are dealing with more of building something tangible. You are using mockups, you are using interfaces. So that's the how. The wow is the what is determining the functionality, and the why is understanding the user's motivations. So UX designers start with the why before determining the what, and then finally the how to create products that users can form meaningful experiences with. So I hope this was a very comprehensive video in what does a UX designer actually do. And while talking about it, I think it also gave you a good understanding of what user experience actually is, what are the different categories or subsets we have in this bigger domain, and how UX is a part of of an even bigger domain of customer experience. So that was all for this video. In the next video, we will be talking about user centricity of UX. So I will see you there. Thank you.